Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my preview of the Leicester City versus Chelsea game. And it's a good time for us to start, to get on to winning ways in the Premier League again after obviously that loss against Tottenham. Thankfully we beat Peterborough in the Cup last week, but it's time to get back to winning ways in the Premier League. Talking about Leicester quickly, the 15th obviously, defending champions, not doing so well at all. On 21 points, the last 5 league games, 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. They lost 1-0 to Bournemouth, drew 2-2 to Stoke, even though to be fair they were 1 man down and 2-0 down, so 2-2 is actually a good result. Lost 2-0 to Everton, they beat West Ham 1-0, 0-0 draw against Middlesbrough, and last week they actually beat Everton 2-1 in the Cup, so fair play to them. Quickly, something we have to mention, obviously the African Cup of Nations is going on at the moment, or about to start, I'm not too sure. But 3 of their players are missing because they are, at the AFCON. Those are Amati for Ghana and Mahrez and Slimani for Algeria. Obviously, Musa, he's Nigerian and Nigeria didn't qualify. And some other players just didn't get picked. They actually signed a player this transfer window for £50 million. Wilfred Ndidi, a bit of a weird name. But he did give his debut against Everton last week. And they actually switched to a 4-3-3, which they don't usually play, Last season, we all know, they always played a 4-4-2 with Vardy and Okazaki up front. But because, they didn't do so well recently, they got beat by Everton 2-0 a few weeks ago, and last week they beat them. So there is a chance of them playing 4-3-3. So I'm not too sure, but obviously they could just as well revert back to the 4-4-2. Jamie Vardy, who was ill and also King for the Everton game, they're both fit and, back in the team. Ujoa is actually still, he's injured with a muscular injury. But yeah, I don't really know. I think they'll probably go back to a 4-4-2. But, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Talking about Antonio Conte's press conference, he said quite a few things today. Firstly, about injuries. No particular he didn't say this player is injured. All he said was he has to check on a couple of situations before deciding the team for tomorrow. There might be some players with small niggles, but for my lineup that I'm going to predict later, I'm just going to go with everyone being fit, because that's usually what it is when they say some small situations. They're usually fit. Then he talked about Aki. He's yet to decide whether Kante will be involved tomorrow, but says his first impressions have been really good. He's definitely grown as a player, he said, while out on loan, but he still needs time to adapt to our way of playing football, which obviously is fair enough. Mishi has been here for, 7-8 months, and he's still not getting into the team unless it's a cup game. So, yeah, it will take Aki a little bit of time to actually start getting minutes. But once he does, I'm very much looking forward to it. Another thing he said about Kante, he can play in different positions, different roles, which makes him a lot calmer in terms of the transfer window. Because obviously we don't, if he can play there and there and there, there's backup for a lot of, positions. Sounds like he still wants some players in certain positions, but it's not the end of the world if we don't get any players in those positions, because we do have Aki or other players as backup to fill that gap. Then he talked about John Terry quickly, obviously, who did get sent off against Peterborough. His ban, he appealed the ban, but appealed the red card. He didn't get approved or accepted the appeal. He's banned for 1 game. Obviously, that's in all competitions, so he's banned for that game, but I think so anyway. He should be back next week. But yeah, he said John Terry is fantastic, fantastic work on the pitch and off the pitch. He said he's a very big help to him, as in Conte, and he will definitely stay with us, obviously talking about, because there's been loads of rumours of John Terry going out to Bournemouth or weird things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all from the press conference, obviously talking about our team. We lost against Spurs. We all know that. We beat Peterborough more than convincingly. Going through our lineup, I don't think there will be, many big changes from who played against Spurs. So Courtois back in goal against Peterborough. Begovic played. Back 3 will go back to the usual self with Gary Cahill, David Luiz and Azpilicueta. Wing backs being Marcos Alonso and Victor Moses. Centre mid, I'm not sure. There is a chance of Fabregas starting. And at the moment, I actually prefer Matic to Kante at the moment. I'm not so sure. I think because we have been starting to concede more goals recently, 2 against Stoke and 2 against Spurs, and also won against Peterborough, I think he'll go with the more solid option with, Matic and Kante. Then obviously the three attacking players, Hazard and Costa, are definitely going to play. And then it's a question, will it be Pedro or will it be Willian? I think it will be Pedro. He's played really well against Peterborough. He definitely deserves it. He was man of the match in that. Played really good. Should have had a hat-trick. Should have had 4, actually. Only got 2, assisted another. So I think he deserves to play. Obviously, there's always a shout for Willian. As I said before, I think they're pretty much on par with their level of performances at the moment. But yeah, I'd just give it to Pedro this time. Willian coming on and, we'll just see. But obviously, Leicester, they do have 3 of their main players missing in Slimani, Amati. I'm not actually sure if Amati usually starts games. I'm sorry, guys. I really should have checked that. But I didn't. And obviously, Riyad Mahrez. So that is obviously a big advantage to us, especially, for us defensively, for them going forward. That is, good for us. But yeah, I do see us winning quite comfortably. I don't see us absolutely smashing them off the park. But I do see us keeping a clean sheet, as I said, going forward. They're, lacking players because of the African Cup of Nations and due to the injury of Ajoa. Not that he usually starts a lot of games or comes on in a lot of games. But still, it's a player that they're missing. So my prediction is 2-0. Yeah, I think that's a solid prediction. Obviously, the season before, we beat them 3-0 at home. Just, shortly after our run of these, 13 wins in a row streak started. And earlier that season in the Cup, EFL Cup, we beat them away 4-2 in extra time with Fabregas scoring 2. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.